Hello, I'm Sarah, this is Hardcover Hearts, and this is my week of reading wrap-up where I talk about the books that I read, what I'm currently reading, and potentially could read next week based on my mood. This might be a short one because I only finished one book this week, though I'm in the process of reading a good number. So let's get right into it and see how long this is actually going to take. I'm curious as well. So the first book that I finished is, I did this in audio from my library. And this is Honey and Spice by the most excellently named author, Bolu Babalola. The ringing of it is just phenomenal. And the audio was done by Weruchi Opia. And the narration was phenomenal. Now, this is a contemporary modern romance. I don't read a lot of those, but I was interested. I'd heard a lot of buzz about this, and I wanted to read something from a Black British writer. And this just piqued my interest at the right moment. It was available from my library, so I jumped on it. Now, this is the story of a young woman of Nigerian descent, and she is in England and she's at university. And she is a proud feminist and she is doing well in school, and her kind of claim to fame is that she has this radio show. The whole premise of this radio show called Brown Sugar is that they get reader letters that they answer, kind of advice type things. And then they pair it with R&B, soul music, and the like. And so it's very popular, and she's just known for getting some things done. But she also is very guarded. She only has a set number of friends that she trusts. And she's tried to date this one guy, but she was kind of doing it quietly and realized that he was really not intellectually interesting at all. Not even interested in her. He was only interested in her insofar as she repelled. She kept pushing him away. And he was so shocked that someone would do that it made him interested in coming in closer. So that dynamic, she saw through it. She wasn't interested. So she is leaving his room after breaking it off, and they hadn't really gotten into anything. It was just a tentative thing. Nothing really sexual had happened between them. But she breaks it off. She says, this is not for me. As she's trying to sneakily leave his room, she bumps into somebody in the elevator, and he is somebody who blows her mind, like instant chemistry, instant charge. She's very confused because she knows every single Black person on campus. And then a lot of letters start flying in to the radio show about how to catch a man, how to make sure that someone likes you, how to make sure that you're likable for someone, and how to, in essence, change yourself to make yourself more palatable for someone else. And she recognizes that there is something happening, there's some new dynamic happening at school, and she attributes it to this man. And then in typical romance format, she's going for this prestigious spot in NYU. She needs to get her grades up, and she's given a partner. And guess who the partner that she has to do a group project with is? You guessed it. And so you've got all of the tropes. But what I really liked was the exploration of character, the exploration of stereotypes that she stereotyped him with, the breakdown of the barriers, and the romance was really, really well done. All in all, I really enjoyed this. It was exactly what I was looking for in terms of a contemporary romance that was smart, that had interesting characters. I enjoyed it very much. Now let's talk about what I'm currently reading. We just had our check-in this morning for the Balkan Trilogy. So that means we have completed The Great Fortune and The Spoilt City. I will do a full review of this I think, we'll be done with it next week. So in next week's video, I'll have my point of view on this. But so far it's been an amazing read. A lot of interesting ideas. Her writing is exemplary. Enjoying the story of two young people in their young 20s, a young couple who were recently married, and they are really chasing and running from the encroachment of war. They were in Bucharest and they thought they were safe, and they've had to flee Bucharest as the Nazis in Germany has kind of taken over, and right before the fall. And they find themselves in Athens now. They're filled with a lot of interesting characters, some dubious, some challenging, some heartbreaking. I'll tell you more about it next week, but let me stop right there. But so far, this has been a phenomenal read. Then, as expected, reading this with Natalie of Curious Reader has been amazing. This is Rings of Saturn by W.G. Sebald. I have this really nice cover right there. So I will say Duck's Newbury Report prepared me for reading this, in that it's stream of conscience. It's this block of text, and then every once in a while you'll get an image or a photo. It's the meanderings and wanderings of this man as he's walking, and thoughts come to him. And he relates his thoughts to history, to people in history, to ideas. Now, Duck's Newbury Report was more about feelings and anxiety and thoughts and facts, the fact that. But this is more intellectually removed. It's a cooler book. It's more about themes of death, existential crisis, existential loneliness, the fact that what matters, what does it all mean in the end? Loneliness, death, impermanence. Those are just some of the things we explored in the first little bit. We'll have a check-in tomorrow, and I look forward to hearing more of her thoughts and me scrambling to try to come up with something intelligent to say. But reading with her is a joy. Happy to be doing it. Thank you, Natalie. Then I also am reading this for NetGalley. This is The Betrothed by Allessandro Manzoni, and this is translated by Michael F. Moore. This has an introduction. This is just a reissue. This is an old traditional classic Italian novel set in the 17th century. And it's about this couple that are getting ready to be married, and a very powerful Don puts a stop to it, interferes with it because he doesn't want her to marry. And so it sets these two characters off on a journey to figure out how they can get married. They have to separate for a bit, and then through their separation, we explore different aspects of Italy during that time. So there's plagues, there's famine, there's migration, there's power dynamics. Italy, this part of Italy, was controlled by Spain. Didn't know that. And so how the feudal system works, how the power dynamics work within the church and within the feudal lords. Jhumpa Lahiri did the introduction to this one. And I wasn't going to read the introduction because if you follow my channel, you know that I hate spoilers. I hate them. And I hate knowing too much about a book going into it. But in this one, she talks about, it's really about the translation, about bringing life to this classic in a new way for English readers, and talks about how she was given this book. She's someone who has been working and translating and interested in translating Italian for many years. And so when I saw her name attached to this book, it made me ask for it on NetGalley. So I was very happy to be granted it by the publisher, and more to come on that. But right now it's feeling very like epic adventure. There is a little trollopy aspect to it where the narrator will pop in and kind of show himself as he kind of talks about and kind of sets the scene and the setting, which is really fun. Then I'm reading, also got this on NetGalley. What's funny is that I had asked for it on NetGalley at the same time that it arrived in actual book form. So I have the physical book as well. Gorgeous, gorgeous book, The Flames by Sophie Haydock. Haydock. This is about Egon Schiele's, from the Viennese painter. His muses, his four muses, is what the cover says. It starts off by focusing on an older woman who's very impoverished and who gets hit by a woman on a bike. And she's taken away to the hospital, and she's kind of ranting about things related to Egon and being a muse. And then we go back in time, and we get her story of meeting Egon and what Viennese society was like there. I was hoping for something a little heftier, a little more nuanced and layered, and more literary fiction-like. And when I say literary fiction, I mean those layers. I mean that multiple ways to read it, a subtler approach, less of a heavy hand. This reads more commercially fiction with an interesting subject. I'll continue and see what I think, but I wasn't as in love with it as I hoped I would be from the first few pages. So stay tuned, probably next week. It's reading really fast. Then, so that's what's currently on deck. And then I'm also going to be starting my next Anita Brookner. So Leo of Leo's Little Book Life on Instagram and I are reading all of Anita Brookner's oeuvre, and we are near the end. We have, we'll have 3 more books to read, and then that's it. We're done the 24. So our 2-year project will be coming to a close. So we'll be starting that as soon as we both finish the Balkan Trilogy, because he's in my group read for that one. So yeah, that's what's on deck. I look forward to hearing if you've read any of these, what your thoughts were. If you have any that you recommend that are similar to these that you think I might like better, more, or just would like it in general, please let me know in the comments below. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll talk to you soon. Bye.